I actually appreciate the fact that he's mentioned the frustration because I
Hmm.
get that a lot in email. I get a lot in private like messages on TradingView. All of these things, these are sentiments right now. How long do you think it's going to stay like this, Michael? How long do you think it's going to be like this? When is it going to be better market conditions? I wish I knew because I wouldn't even be doing live streaming. I would just say, I'll be back on this day and you'll know why then. I mean, you would be able to read between the lines. But this is what we were dealing with. These are the market environments that we're under. And you have to make a decision. Either you're going to take it and use it to your advantage and say, okay, I'm going to, the storm's coming, so I'm going to set my ships out at sea. And that's where you make good, strong sailors. You build yourself in strength and experience when it's hard. You don't get good at trading when it's easy. You get good at trading when it's hard. So that way you don't recognize, let me say it this way, you will begin to recognize when it's impossibilities cleverly disguised as opportunities. And that's the climate we're in right now. And being able to, and I'm thankful for the Lord to be able to give me the opportunity to come here and share that today because these are the lessons that I wish I would have been taught when I was 20. I didn't have someone sitting down and saying, okay, this is what it looks like. This is when it looks like this, don't touch it. Even if it goes to your target. Some of you, you think, well, it went to where he said it went to. You know, that angers me. That frustrates me. It feels like they stole an opportunity from me. If some of you think that way, put a one in because not all of you are going to come up here today and talk before we close it at noon. I'm going to leave at noon, by the way, Kit, so that way we know what's going on. But if you guys continue to go longer, that's your business. But noon, I'm going to check out.
No, yeah, no, we're going to go to noon with you, and then we'll do a trader roundup after 3 o'clock later on, as we typically do on a Friday, just to get some of the folks who are anticipating that. But yeah, we're here
Cool.
with you till noon, brother.
Cool. But I think that, feeling the frustration, feeling like you had an opportunity stolen from you, that's what causes tilt because you get so caught up in the emotion, the psychological tug of war of, just 5 minutes ago, I thought it was going to go higher. And then before that, I thought it was going to go lower. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm getting confused and I'm getting frustrated and you just want to lash out. And what do? You reach for the buy and sell button. Like that's going to save you. And the only thing it does is buries you deeper or removes you from the market because now you have to add more money or pay for your reset. And that's the clues that you should be picking up on because if you're feeling all that right now in a controlled environment where you're not trading, shouldn't be trading, watching price action and you see someone with a little bit more experience say, look, this is problematic. Based on the things I'm teaching, based on the things that I showcase, these are problematic right now. It doesn't mean the algorithm has changed. It doesn't mean that the market can't have a good run on Monday or next week. It just means right now, everything is not lined up where it makes high probability. It makes it low probability. And targets can still be hit in low probability conditions. It just means it's going to be difficult for you to hold on to it. And I don't want to be out here influencing any of you because some of you just don't want to have the discipline and you're going to take whatever I say and you're going to enter a trade on that. And I'm trying very much to avoid hurting any of you by something I may say because I'm not in here. I'm not touching it. You saw what I did. That was all I've done. Now, you have to make the determination of whether or not looking at price action like this on a day like this and the price action that's not clean. It's a lot of traffic right now. Okay. A lot of the ranges are sharing the same previous candles and one or two candles have all the run. And then it goes right back to stagnant price action again. That is not what I'm teaching you to trade in. And as soon as you get that in your brain, ingrain that and say, okay, this is not open lanes of traffic. I'm not worrying about, someone cutting me off. Everybody is behind me and it's a straight run to that next objective. You're not seeing that right now. You're looking at rush hour traffic on Christmas weekend, on Christmas Eve, and everybody's out here right now. And you can't drive safely like that. And you can't see price runs drive cleanly and precisely. There's a whole lot of congestion in price action right now. And by identifying that and being thankful that you can recognize it, that cancels out the positive will cancel out the negative feelings that it should be. That's what you should be cultivating in your mindset. Say, okay, I'm glad I see this. I'm glad I can recognize this. I'm glad that I'm not getting caught off guard and letting my emotions dictate what I should or should not do. I'm not being enticed to take revenge out on this market. I'm not getting tripped up in the argument or the war scenario of I'm going to hang in here long enough until it gets to the real move and then I'm going to take it from them. Because that's all the things that go on in our mind. And then you end up blowing your account. So this is exactly how markets destroy traders. This is exactly how markets take the developing student or new trader out of the game before they even learn how to do it. And the industry, by far and large, does not do a good enough job because I think most of them aren't profitable and they don't know what they're doing. They don't teach you how to recognize problem areas because they're busy blowing their accounts and behind the scenes paying for hundreds of resets. So having someone sit out here in a live setting over live candlesticks telling you this is what you would like to see, this is what doesn't look so good, and the probabilities have shifted from probable to not so probable. Do you want to risk money where you have a greater chance of losing it? Or do you want to focus on times when you don't have these problems? And these are real world problems right now in trading. You have to make that determination. I have traders and students that still can be profitable in high resistance liquidity run conditions. They tell you, yeah, this is what I make, but the stress, the fatigue. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We can hear you fine. No problem. It's all good. We can hear you, buddy.
Okay. The idea of pushing in these environments, trying to get more because of frustration, because of the time invested in it, and not seeing it for the advantageous aspects of recognition of these things that create problematic trading. The algorithm is not changing. You can still see the elements are still there. It's just it's a whole lot of chaff right now. That means it's intentional confusion. They'll run levels multiple times and stay inside of a range. That's fill. That's what's going on. That's not algorithmic. That is not buying and selling pressure. That is not your footprint and all these little things that talk about, oh, the buyers took over control here, and that's all horseshit. Okay, that's not what's going on. The point is, if you feel negative thoughts or feelings about watching price action like this and you walk away from it in frustration, you're actually cheating yourself of the proper learning experience that you should take away from it. You should be able to say, I see this and I can see it now. It's recognizable. It's not a rattlesnake in tall grass as you're walking by and it comes out and springs and bites you. That's my point. It's something that you could recognize in advance so that way you don't think to yourself, well, this is my only day off during the week. I have time to trade and I haven't had a winning trade in a while. So yeah, let me go in here and just try to see if I can get a payout or if I can just get to that threshold of getting to a funded account where I can now start making money. That's the trap. That's the mental net that we get tangled up in if we're not aware of what these things are doing in the marketplace. If price is showing you that it is going to bite you, think about it. Look at the market today. Look at your 1 minute chart right now. That's tall grass. There's a lot of snakes in that tall grass. How confident are you that you can walk through that tall grass and not get bit? It's hard. And admitting that it's hard is not weakness. It doesn't mean that you have a subpar methodology because everybody's looking at these same candlesticks. Everybody's dealing with the same things that's going on in the Middle East. We all have the same Trump that's out here tweeting shit. Okay, we all have that. The common denominators are those. But what you have to do is keep the focus on trading when it makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, and if it isn't in the column of high probability, there's no need to worry about it. Don't get disgruntled about what the price is doing because you can't change it. And the only thing that does, it builds up over time. It's cumulative. You're going to build up a little bit of hostility. Oh, I wish I could have took a trade today. It went right where we're supposed to go. I should have did this. Don't go into that chart and say, I should have did this. I should have did that. No, that's not what you do with a day to day. A day like today, you say,
I'm really thankful to see that the algorithm still took price to where it should have went. It was logical for it to go there. But it just so happens that the price was not permissible for me to go in with a very easy, low risk entry. That's it. That's what you write in your journal. That's how you sweet talk yourself in positive self-talk. Because if you do anything other than that, what you're doing is you're taking a little bit of frustration and you're tamping it down in your stomach, down in the pit. And then the weekend or something will come up in the weekend. You'll be frustrated and you can't wait to exact your revenge on Monday because you need a release on profitability trading, and you're going to trade something on Monday with that intention. And you're going to watch price action, you're going to do something, and you're going to carry that cumulative stress and frustration, and you're going to channel it right into an outlet that you think is going to give you a positive outcome. And that's why traders lose. That's how traders lose their account. That's how traders have mental fatigue, even if they are profitable, because they're operating in that mindset. I came here today, just had a gun pointed at me, okay, literally 12 minutes before I started the stream. Pulled everything up, mental clarity. Yep, this is what's going on. Called the draw on liquidity still. Nothing changed except for the fact that the probabilities were shifted from probable to low probability. Easy, because the process was what's focused on. Protocols. Now, if I didn't have protocols, and I was 20 years old, and that happened, I probably would have went to jail or shot. But if, say, I spared myself of all that and I got home, what would I have done as a young 20-year-old ICT? I would have went in here and over-leveraged something because I would have to exact revenge. I need to get a release. I need to have an orgasmic release of the stress that this dude put on me. But this helps me dial in. It helps me calibrate myself. Where am I focusing? Okay, what's the rules? It should do this. It shouldn't do that. This is what it should do. It should not do that. So it's like meditation. The market should cause a calming in you. It should not excite you to levels of euphoria or fear. When you look at the market under the things I'm teaching you, everything else can be a storm around you, but you're calm inside. The eye of the storm is inside you. You're calm. Everything else around you can be a nutcase scenario. But if you can't focus and resolve yourself to, this is what I'm only having to deal with, and this is what it's going to have to be like for me to participate. If it's not, I cannot break the rules. I cannot yield to the chaos and just get in there because it's uncomfortable sitting and waiting to see what happens. That's novice. That's novice perspective. That's neophyte perspective. Someone that is forging measures of responsibility, accountability, building a baseline of saying, I don't have to know all the answers, but I'm trusting these protocols and these processes because they keep me grounded. They keep me focused on the things that matter most. I'm not going to chase price. I'm not going to over leverage in these conditions, and I'm not demanding that I have to put on a trade. It has to make sense.